Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of the History of Dirt. This one's going to be called Up the Creek. The woods were quiet up a little creek that emptied into Sims at Unionville. Quiet because they had been left untouched since the Native Americans had used them to hunt on and camp. Quiet because no one had hitched a team of horses and turned the ground yet. Quiet because a white family had not yet roamed or worked them. This was all about the change, though, because a certain young couple had walked through these woods and were about to make a move. Unionville was a fledgling community, but growing fast, thanks in part to a very hard-working, business-minded man named Samuel Langdon. But his son William was grown and ready to move on. He had been in the community just a short time when he had met the woman of his dreams, a young lady by the name of Elizabeth Simmons. She had also moved here from Virginia in the early 1820s with her parents, Elijah and Lucy. They, like William's family, saw opportunity for a fresh start with plentiful, cheap land. The year was 1827, and Elizabeth, or Betty as she was better known, did not hesitate when William popped the question. She was 21, he 23, and they were ready to start their lives. And with their whole lives ahead of them, they were very careful in choosing the perfect piece of land to settle on. So after 7 years and 3 children, they had found the ground that was perfect for them. It was now 1834, and William would have to make the same journey to the Chillicothe Land Office his father had made 14 years before. He knew the trip and all the labor would be worth it, though, because William was a farmer, and he could see potential in this hillside farm. They started with 40 acres and 3 children, 2 of which were named after Elizabeth's parents, Elijah and Lucy. The amount of work that lay ahead of this young family was overwhelming. The land had to be cleared, a home and barn built with the timber, the fields prepared to feed the few head of livestock they owned, all while keeping themselves and their children fed. But they persevered, and their family and farm continued to grow until in 1842, a son they chose to name Enoch was born. By this time, the farm had grown to well over 100 acres, and they continued to add piece by piece until they owned all the land, that is both sides of the road from where Pratt's Greenhouse is today, all the way to Big Branch Road. Enoch was the 5th of 7 children raised on the land, and he seemed to have a special interest in it. Someday he knew he would make his mark, so as he grew, he helped his dad farm, and soon he was hooked. The land was steep, covered in trees and brush, and littered with rocks of various sizes. Lots and lots of rocks. So they cut brush, cleared large trees, except for property line trees, and piled thousands of rocks from basketball to truck tire size. These piles of rocks still lay in the weeds today, all picked up and placed there individually by William and his family. Over time, as the woods were cleared and the rocks removed, they would construct fences to divide pastures and dig wells and water holes to water orchards and other fruits planted on the hilltops. The bottom land was used for hay, corn, and vegetable plants. It had become a workable farm in which they took much pride. A place where William and Elizabeth would grow old together until in 1873, at the age of 69, William would pass away. He loved his land so much that he picked a small spot earlier in his life just below what was then Rankins Creek Road, a little flat where they had laid to rest a daughter-in-law, granddaughter, and some babies lost either to childbirth or shortly after. He chose not to be buried in the cemetery at Unionville where his parents were. He chose the land he had dedicated his life to, and there would be placed a headstone brought in from Gallipolis. Years would pass as Elizabeth aged alone. The farm was huge for this time, and she had divided it up by 1887 to her 2 sons, Elijah and Enoch. She had retreated back to the original piece of land where she and William had walked all those years ago. This land is where the greenhouse is today, and it was there she would live out the rest of her days until at the age of 85, after 56 years of love and loss on this piece of dirt, she would be admitted to the doctor's office at Russell's Place. This was the new name for Unionville. It is there she would die on July the 20th, 1890, Her body would be brought back to Rankins Creek, where she would be laid to rest beside the man she had toiled with all those years ago, on the land that she had spent her life preparing for the next generation. It was there beside William she would have only a small stone for a marker, no name, no date, but now we know who this woman was and what she had helped to accomplish. Now, Enoch was at the reins, and it is his story we will tell on the next episode of The History of Dirt. Thank you guys for watching.
When the full moon bathes the meadow in its bright and silky dress, why do I feel depressed, my love? When the curtains wave their shadows across your white and milky breast, why do I feel unrest, my love? Do the hollows of the night prepare in me this fright of our parting? Then at the break of day, my love, where have you gone away, with not one word to say of goodbye? Why would you not have stayed, my love? Oh, say you're not afraid of the promise that we made. Oh, why do the willows in the wind run shivers down my skin of sorrow? I have gone to where the wind may not blow